Hello, friends, and welcome to the Underground Challenge. The I spent 100 days underground in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Essentially, you could say this is kind of also a grand underground review from a perspective of digging, not necessarily from a perspective of what changed between the old underground on the DS era to the new one on the Switch era. That I don't have time for. It also wasn't the point of my exercise. So, what is this challenge? What did I do? Let's talk about some thoughts behind it. So, I liked the digging aspect in Diamond and Pearl on the DS. That was my favorite thing. My brother and his friend, we could play that together. You know, capture the flag, traps, kind of dig, stuff like that. So, during the time when I first started creating this idea, I was really into those. I spent 100 days in Stardew Valley, this, that, and the other kind of a video. So I said, you know what? Let's combine them both. I just finished a playthrough on stream of Shining Pearl. Let's go do Brilliant Diamond, but let's focus on digging specifically. So I did just that. I spent 100 real life days, not full 8 hours. I have a day job. You know, if it was just weekends, it would have been much, much longer than 3 months. But regardless, I spent 100 days digging in Brilliant Diamond's Grand Underground. I started on the 5th of September, 2023, and I ended on December 20th, 2023. The reason I'm including the years and the year specifically is because this is going to be posted on the new year, so everyone who will see it, it's 2024 now, so just, yeah, anyway. And I know the date range is more than 100 days. It's my challenge, just, you know, let me do what I want. So the rules that I had set forth kind of evolved, if you will, once I started looking into how digging works, because there's a new mechanic. So let's go through the rules and explain why they are what they are. So beat Brilliant Diamond so I can get the National Pokedex. And this rule is only there so I can get all the statues in one go, or as much as I can in one go, so I don't have to go back and forth and do other stuff while I'm trying to, you know, dig and have time and stuff like that. So the goal is to spend an hour in the underground daily until 100 days have passed. I can set up my own secret base and I can decorate it, but during that hour, I can't do anything else but dig. No catching Pokemon, no hunting Pokemon, no doing the Diglett meter thing. I can decorate my secret base on my own time, but I can't do anything else. So, and again, the rule was I was starting on 9.5. I'm going to track with the items I get daily in terms of items to see the growth of my inventory as we go. And then if I miss a day, I'll make it up. It's just an hour a day. Doesn't necessarily have to be on that calendar day. I actually at the end of the week basically have 7 hours have dug underground, essentially. And I'm not sure if the areas matter in terms of items or statue availability or what have you, but just for my own sanity, I'll go to a different area each week, which I didn't report on here. I have the full spreadsheet if anyone wants to see it, but we can go over that. It doesn't really matter how much time I spent because I don't think it matters, but we'll see. So for the tracking of the items and stuff like that, I found the list of all the items from Bulbapedia in the underground, and here they are. So I just started typing them into an Excel sheet and went from there. But as you can see, there's quite a few items, a lot of plates, held items, fossils, recovery items, evolution stones, spheres, shards, everything in between. So the tracker I made is kind of, well, it's here. It's a snippet of what I made because I can't fit the full thing on there. On here, it would be way too big. But the things I want to highlight are I should have really looked at my inventory when I did like the first week or so to then rearrange things so that way I know on page like, you know, 2 of my item list that I don't have to then go to the far end because I'm in the plate section, you know. But essentially this is what it looks like, and you can see the snippet from, you know, November to just about the middle of December or so about 30 days or so. And again, this is towards the tail end, so obviously I have a lot more items. I'm sitting on hundreds of shards at this point because I have no idea what to do with them. I know what to do with them, obviously, but like, I don't want to trade them. That's not the point. But let's go through and look at the statues. So there isn't necessarily a tracker for statues. I know there was one other person who did this, who collected all the statues that they could. They have a post on Reddit, kind of highlighting their process and stuff like that. I didn't follow that per se because that wasn't my main goal, but I figured, well, I'm getting them anyway. I might as well track them myself. So here they are. And again, just a snippet. I couldn't get the full thing on there. And we'll have them look nicer in a minute. So let's go, now that we're done with 100 days, talk about the results that we found. So, in total, I spent 99 hours and 53 minutes in the underground. Now, I obviously know that's not 100 hours. There were a few days, especially around the holidays, like Thanksgiving and stuff, where I kind of got backed up. I also lost my job during this time, so things have been a little bit stressful towards the end of it. But had I known I was only going to be 7 minutes off, I would have pushed through a little bit longer on my final streaming, like recording day, or not recording day, but like final playtime. But I didn't know until I was starting to do all the calculations and stuff, so yeah, whoops. But for the total items acquired, I got 9,361 items in total. Spheres, this, that, and the other, whatever, in total. And then statues, I collected 2,671 statues, and I fully upgraded the secret base and done all the quests in Eterna City. So, essentially, as much as you can do down here, I did. I didn't care about catching Pokemon since that wasn't the goal, so I don't have the National Pokedex completed. That was never my goal anyway. So, going into a more specific look of every category, I'm not going to read out all the numbers, but here are what I had for spheres. Red spheres and blue spheres easily were the most common, easily. Obviously, the prism and pale spheres on both ends, small and large, are rarer, but I do find it interesting that I had more blue spheres, and I was playing Diamond. Are they relevant? I don't know, but I know some of them are, which we'll touch on in a minute. So revives, short slide. We got revive items. Woo, I used a couple here and there, but the way I calculated at the end is I only counted if the number went up. So, if it went down, I didn't count that as a loss, essentially. As in, I had a tracking sheet, which we'll show in a second, but yeah. Shards, here are the total shards that we have. Again, more blue shards. Again, I'm not sure if it's relevant because I was playing Diamond, but I did find it interesting. Also, I didn't even break 100 green shards, which I know for a fact I did not, but it is interesting that I thought I was going to have way more yellow, but then I realized at the end, I'm like, oh no, blue is more common. Red was kind of rare, but also green, I found barely any, according to this. Like, I found almost 3 times as much blue than I did green. Interesting. The evolution stones are dependent on the game that you're playing. For example, Sun, Fire, and Thunder are more common in Brilliant Diamond, while Moon, Water, and Leaf are more common in Pearl. If you are playing the game, depending on your version, I would check Cerebi. They have the whole list of what is more common in one, least common in the other, vice versa. So just keep that in mind. But I was pleasantly surprised to see that my numbers were in fact correct with what, was being reported. Not that I doubted Cerebi, but just more so, my own confirmation bias. I just wanted to see, is this true? And it definitely is. Definitely is. Every time I would see a water or a leaf stone, I'm like, oh, it's new. Because I'm so used to seeing the bright orange or the bright green for the fire and thunder stones. Held items. I'm not sure if the held rocks, like the icy, smooth, heat, and damp rock, are region, game dependent. But I did find more icy and heat than smooth and damp, so maybe. But I think the rest are kind of par for the course. But I found no oval stones, and off the top of my head, from what I can recall, I don't recall if it is, game specific, Diamond or Pearl, so who knows, maybe it is. But I did find, quite a lot of Everstones, so interesting. I didn't know what to call this section, because the odd keystone and the heart scales don't really fit in with a lot. You're not really selling them, it's not necessarily a usable item. Well, they kind of are. Yeah, anyway. I'm surprised that you could find odd keystones down there. I know you can get the 1, but I found 27, which was a lot. And then I found 213 heart scales. Again, I have plenty of scales for days. So for the miscellaneous treasures, I found a lot of star pieces. Rare bones were harder to get because they're longer and they had more squares, so it took a lot more. If I found a piece, if I was already halfway through, I wouldn't probably get it. So, it is what it is, but at least I got some money. The fossils are also dependent on the game that you're playing. I believe the root fossil and I know the dome fossil for sure, and the armor fossil are more common in Pearl, with the armor fossil being the Pearl exclusive, because the skull fossil is the Diamond exclusive. And I think the helix and claw fossil are more common in Diamond. And the old amber is just the old amber. It's just a rarer fossil. But I barely found a dome fossil. I'm glad I found one, but, you know, not a lot going on here. The mysterious shards, other than using them for Ravenous Park, I've been sitting on and they have no other purpose. So again, I like the idea that they're there. They're fun to have in the beginning, but once you get like really into this, I was bored with them. I'm like, oh, another one. Like, if I saw one and I knew there was other things, I would just ignore them because I'm like, you're not useful to me anymore, so I'm not going to bother trying to get you. I'd rather get something new and exciting, you know? And same thing for the plates. The plates are rarer, the Icicle and Fist being the rarest that I haven't found. I've only found 3 and 4 respectively, but all in all, they're pretty around the same number, around 8 to 10, give or take. But yeah, I did trade some of them, but I did account for them if I did trade them, so these numbers are reflective of the total that I found in my playtime, which is quite nice. I don't know if I'll ever use them, but they're nice to have. I wish I could build something out of them. Boxes. So, Bulbapedia has that they have like a flying box of the elementals. I don't think I've ever found it. This is just a random sampling of the ones that I like. I am fond of the glamour boxes, or the you know, glittering boxes, whatever you want to call them, because I am, you know, a bougie bitch, but I've never found a flying box during my time. And I say that as somebody who's trying to remember if he's ever found one. I don't recall. There might have been one where I found one, but I think because there's no pure flying type, I honestly thought that there was just not a flying box, period, because I just never found one. But all the flying types are dual types, so you don't need them. Like, you don't need a flying box, because if you need a Pelipper, you get a water box. If you need a Tropius, there's a grass box. Togekiss is fairy. Crobat is poison, you know. I was going to say Emolga, but Emolga doesn't have one. But, like, Zapdos is electric, which you really can't get by digging. But anyway, my point is there, like, there's dual typing, so I never thought the flying box existed, but apparently it does. Interesting. And as far as the statues, these are the counts of the types that exist in terms of how many types of Pokemon are each statue. So there's 8 dragon statues because there's 8 different Pokemon with a dragon type that are statues in the underground. I am not sure if these actually include the legendaries. I don't think they do, because I didn't count them as a statue that was a type that I needed, because you can only get one of them, and also you had to get it somewhere else. So if they are counted here, so be it, but I don't believe they are. But these are the entire types that you could get, the number of types of Pokemon that are bug, dark, whatever, in the underground as a statue. So the lowest statue counts are Dragon, Fairy, Ghost, Ice, and Dark and Fighting, right? I have found exclusively Dark, Dragon, Fairy, Fighting, Ghost, Ice boxes in excess. So I have calculated also the number of statues that I'm missing by type. And I should have put something different than normal, but normal is what I put. By normal, I mean like the regular colored statue that is like the Pokemon, but just like dusty, if you will. And then the shiny is like the green jade-ish style, which I don't have on display, but we'll see, you know, one eventually. So I'm missing like a few here and there. Water is a bitch. Water boxes suck. You know, I got a lot more water Pokemon that I didn't need than I was looking for, but, you know, I'm only missing about a handful of the normal types left, maybe like 10-ish or so, maybe like 8. But the shiny ones I need a lot more of, because I didn't start with the Let's Play on the internet to have other people do the Diglett hunting for me so I can get more shiny boxes until about like halfway through. So just keep that in mind if you ever do this challenge. Just always play on the internet if you can, so that way you can get more chances to get more shiny boxes. The total number of statues by type that I have found are as follows. Interesting to note, Psychic and Flying were the only two to enter triple digits for the shiny ones. Again, Flying is dual typed with a lot of other types, so it doubles up easily. So if, for example, if I had, that's like 5 Crobats and, I don't know, 5 Altarias, that's 10 flying types, but only 5 Dragon and 5, I don't remember what the first one I said was, but you know what I mean. You know, there's only like so many, but same thing for Psychic. Psychic is a good dual type, so there's a lot of typing there, but overall, total number of statues that I found. The most obtained statues, just because I wanted to check by type, like what was my highest one? And the way this is set up is a little bit difficult to understand if you're not me. So obviously you have the types on the left, the Pokemon that are in that type that have the highest count, and then the rank is, are they the highest, period? Or did I have to go somewhere else? Because I didn't want to have like Togekiss on both Fairy and Flying, because I'm like, well, pick one, Ryan. So I said, okay, if I just went down the list and I said if they're the highest in that category, they're in that category, and then I'll move to the second highest. So for example, Drifloon is the second highest flying type with a count of 32. Second after Togekiss, because Togekiss has 36, and they're also a flying type. Interesting ice, because I did ground and water first. I did water above ice for some reason. Glaceon is third with 21. Spheal beat it out by 22 and is also the highest water type that I found. And yeah, I find that interesting. Also, Ditto normal was hard. Normal was hard for me to get above 10. There's not a single normal statue that I have that's above 10. So Ditto is the highest with 7, which is interesting. But yeah, I thought this was cute. Cute to like write up and find out like what was my highest. I love the grass types. They do not love me. My highest was Roserade. But I do want to note that Dragon, Fairy, Fighting, Flying, Ghost, and Steel were my highest counts of boxes because they have the highest counts of stuff here. Second, obviously, is like Dark is quite common, Psychic is quite common, Water, you know, Rock, stuff like that. But like Dragon, Fairy, Fighting, Flying, Ghost, and Steel, if I don't find another one of those boxes, it'll be too fucking soon. But yeah, I also, some of them doubled up, like Pachirisu and Rotom Fan, Typhlosion and Rotom Heat. A lot of the Rotoms I got because they're electric boxes, you know? But there's the counts for that. So as of a summary, I would beg of you, please don't do this. It is not worth your time. The person who did the statue hunting on Reddit also said they would never do this again. Shiny statues are not worth it. They look like garbage. I mean, they're fine if you like them, whatever. But they are just the solid green. They don't look interesting. They're boring as shit. I do not like this. Do not like the shiny statues whatsoever. Would never shiny hunt statues again. I will say it is fun a bit playing with others via the internet, but without like traps or flags or anything to do but digging, it is very limited. You can say hello, you can call them over, but like there's no interaction besides digging, and then you don't even get to see them. So, like I touched on earlier with the mysterious shards, they're fun to get in the beginning because you can now unlock, you know, catching the legendaries, getting the legendary statues, stuff like that. But after you get all of them, they're useless. They just sit there collecting dust. If you are going to try and do this, put on a show. I binged United States of Terra and Elementary while doing this. I needed something to have in the background to like keep my mind from just going mad with all the music in the background and the same tune. Take breaks, touch grass, go out and see the sun. You're not stuck underground like I was for 100 days. Just do something that keeps your sanity where it needs to be, because otherwise you will lose your mind underground. There's nothing to do down there. You'll hear the little chimes. I still hear the chimes of the little ding, ding, ding when you hit the fucking like rocks or shit. It's so bad. But before we end, I did want to show you the screenshot that I have of my statue garden. I have a lot more like pedestals, and I should have put my champ in the background, but you know, live and learn. Predominantly grass types. There's one fire type, Quilava, with no flames, sadly. My little Bronomo is my favorite one. I do love my Oddish. I wish I had a Vileplume, though. But like grass and like grass poison are like my two ones. There's a slacking in the corner you really can't see, but you can kind of see his face. But yeah, I just want to show this off because I'm actually been standing in my garden this entire time. So let's go pop over there real quick so I can show off some stuff. Boom! It's like it never happened. Okay, so real quick, I did want to show this off. I named him Dusty because, you know what, we're underground, and I didn't make that known earlier, but, you know, nice for an end. I just want to look at the statue list real quick. So I know they're dimmed. Let me actually just remove one real quick. There's a little baby Chikorita. Put away. Okay. Okay. So here are all my statues. Obviously, I didn't get a lot of them. Like this one, I'm missing a shiny of. But here's all of them. I wanted to go through them because I just want to show you how many we have. How many statues are just going to go to waste. I don't know if I could fix this, but I would make it so that you can only get one of each. You know? Force me to get one and then be done. I know it would be done super fast, but like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of these that I don't have that I would kind of want to get, but I just don't have patience or time for this anymore. So yeah, these are the statues that we've collected. Like I said, if you are doing this, please don't. I think the only legendary I'm missing is Giratina, but I also don't care because like it wasn't my goal to get all the statues. This was just a nice kind of like byproduct of what I was doing. But this is the finale of the 100-day challenge. I am never going to play Pokemon Diamond, Brilliant Diamond, or Shining Pearl again unless somebody pays me good money. Because I've spent too much time in this. Way too much time in this. Way too much time in this today. But, yep, there we go. We're entering Gen 4 now. But honestly, there's some statues that I wish, like, let me, like, look at this thing. Can I just, like, look at this real quick? Look, hold on. Look how bad that looks. It's just green. It's not good. It's not good. Anyway, we're going to put that away. And then we're going to pick up where we left off. But, yeah. I don't like the shiny ones. They boost your stats in terms of fighting that type of Pokemon. Great. But other than that, they're kind of useless and I'm not here for it. And again, there's some that I would like to get, you know, that I don't have. But for the most part, I have most of them. There's just a few. Like, I don't have a shiny Tangela, or Tangrowth, excuse me. Kind of sucks. These two were a bitch to get. Fuck you, Leafeon. I love you, but you hate me, apparently. And then my best boy, Rotom-Mow. So that's all of them. But yeah, that's the end of this. Thank you guys so much for chilling and listening. I wish I had a end card, but I don't, so we're going to pop back here. But thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one. I don't know what kind of crazy video I'll be doing up next, but hopefully it is not one that takes 100 days for me to complete. So I'll see you guys later. Be safe. Have fun. Love yourselves. Love others. And don't spend 100 days underground like I did. Have a good one.